Now, Joel Klatt is, I think, arguably the best analyst in all of college football. Probably him and Kirk Herbstreit. It's a taste test if you ask me. He went on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday on Fox, FS1, which I interned with FS1 Undisputed, not on the Herd, but watched the Herd a lot. And he went out there and said that he believes there's a chance Colorado is competing to get to the Big 12 title game. Calling his shot. We love it. And I think a lot of folks do a quick Wikipedia search on Joel Klatt and say, oh, he played at Colorado. Of course he's going to say this. I'm going to go ahead and give Joel Klatt the benefit of the doubt that he's just a professional. I don't think he's, carrying water for his alma mater. I don't think that. I think he's legitimately saying he thinks there's a chance this gets done. The over-under win total in Las Vegas for Colorado is 5.5 wins. Their odds to win the Big 12, which is not what Joel Klatt said. He said make the Big 12 title game. But assuming they win the Big 12, the odds for them to do that are plus 4,000. Their odds to make the college football playoff are plus 2,200. Joel Klatt, again, did not predict that Colorado was going to make the college football playoff and win the Big 12. He was purely speaking to their path to making the Big 12 title game. I'll read off what he said on that show right now. So Joel Klatt says there is a scenario now where if Shedeur Sanders is healthy and they maintain some of the health with the guys on the outside, Travis Hunter, who I think is one of the best overall players in college football, there's a chance that Colorado is competing to go to the Big 12 championship game. Again, he's not calling his shot. He's just talking us through how this could happen. I don't think he's wrong on either statement about Shedeur Sanders. If he stays healthy, that's massive. Travis Hunter, if he maximizes his potential, you're probably winning more games if you're Colorado this upcoming season. However, I don't think either of those are the catalyst to Colorado getting to Jerry World into a Big 12 title game. Why? Because last year they already threw the ball really effectively. Like Joel Klatt is speaking to the perimeter talent and speaking to Shedeur Sanders, which is absolutely true. And you want them to level up, and that definitely helps you in terms of your win total. But I think why they weren't successful last year is because they couldn't stop anybody on the run. They couldn't stop the ground game. Like, they threw the ball as well as anybody else in America. They were top 15 in the country in terms of yards per game, darn near 300 per game. But they went 4-8 because the formula to beat them became really obvious right around midway through the season. Look at time of possession. Colorado was 120th in America. What does that mean? It means arguably your best player outside of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders is watching a lot of the game. That's tough to win that way. It's tough to win that way. Colorado allowed 176 yards on the ground a game. So teams are just pounding the rock, taking time off the clock. Shedeur Sanders, as talented as he is, has to watch. And then when he gets the ball back, he's got less time to work with, and they got to play catch-up, and they got to go all the way down the field. So teams already know, hey, they're one-dimensional as an offense. And when you're one-dimensional as an offense, you're pretty easy to stop. Doesn't matter who you are. In college football, that's kind of just the nature of the deal. So my key for this take, essentially, from Joel Klatt, for them to make the college football, not playoff, but to make the Big 12 title game and then have a chance to make the college football playoff, it all hinges on success with the new pieces they brought in on defense. Colorado brought in 41 transfers. Large part of those guys on the defensive side of the ball. He said something else, though, that I think is worth unpacking together. He said Deion has worked at Colorado. And y'all, he's not wrong. Same thing we just said about Florida, I think can be true about Colorado. Expectations is directly correlated to happiness. Like, we're talking about Colorado making the Big 12 title game, and again, it's got to be in the trenches for them to get that done. I truly believe that. But, like, if you were just looking for Colorado to be relevant in the college football sphere, Deion Sanders has done that. Yeah, you went 4-8, it's true, and you don't want to stay at 4-8, but you improved from one win the year before. 68% uptick in applications to Colorado. Joel Klatt said that on the Herd the other day. I did not know that. 68%. People are seeing Colorado on their TV screens. Seniors in high school are saying, I want to maybe take a look at what Boulder has to offer. That's great for the school. That's great for the economy in Boulder. Like, it's high tide is raising all boats here. So if your expectation was for Colorado to be relevant again, boom, it's done. It's been done. Now, if your expectation is for them to make a bowl game, I think that's a very realistic thing to talk about. Now, their schedule is brutal. I mean, October 12th forward is brutal. They got Kansas State. They're at Arizona. They got Cincinnati. They get a bye week. Then they go to Lubbock to play Texas Tech, and they are going to be a tough out. I'm just saying right now. You got Utah, who will be a top 10 team, top 15 team in the country preseason. You're at Kansas, and you finish with Oklahoma State. So it's difficult, but there is a path where you can get to 6 wins. 6 wins when you were a 1-win team 2 years ago, like you'll take that every day of the year. Twice on Saturday. Going back to happiness and expectations, I think the expectation somehow has evolved into, well, Colorado, they got to be a playoff team. That's a little bit more of a stretch. That's not just me saying that. That's Vegas saying that. And so when you talk about Colorado and why we're talking about them being a college football playoff team, I think a lot of it has to do with the bravado. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with talking your cash and saying whatever you want to say on social media. There's different things I may advise against. But, like, if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. But the reason why Colorado's getting so much kickback, some of it's because it's Deion Sanders, but most of it's because of how the bravado around Colorado is being projected. Like, there is a lot of talk around them winning the Big 12 and being a college football playoff team. And I think most folks that saw last year are like, all right, well, maybe let's make a bowl game first, and then we can talk about the other things after a bowl game. That's why there's pushback. It's not hate on Deion Sanders, it's not hate on Colorado. It is this thought behind, there's a lot of bravado here. There's a lot of talk about what we're going to do. We haven't done a lot of that just yet when you look at the 4-8 record or resume so far. But if the expectation was for Colorado to be relevant again, boom, check that off the list. We said it mid-season last year, regardless of how they finished out. Last year, I think, was a success for Deion Sanders. However, if you're expecting a Big 12 title berth, it's got to be in the trenches. That is the end-all, be-all. That is the key to this whole thing. Hard Count is brought to y'all today by our friends over at Rhoback. Now, Rhoback, we're getting closer and closer to sweaty season. What sweaty season is when it gets hot outside, and if you're like me, start to perspire a little bit. It doesn't take much. So when you start to perspire, the last thing you want to have on is a cotton t-shirt or one of those stiff polos. Rhoback has great moisture-wicking technology. Going to be able to be breathable out all day on the course, playing golf, whether you're at a tailgate, whether you're just hanging out with your boys, like whatever you need. Rhoback is going to keep you comfortable and stylish. Also, it's summertime now. They got swimsuits, you got shorts, you got pants, you got to wear them into the office. Rhoback, they got you covered. So Rhoback taking care of you there. Also now leading the NIL charge. How to deal with Jalen Milroe, Cade Klubnik. Like, they're also the spearhead of that whole operation when it comes to the NIL space. Rhoback making it happen. So go to rhoback.com. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. Redeem code JD now for 20% off your first purchase. Save you some money. Again, code JD. No periods, no punctuation, period in there. No pun intended. Just the letters J and D at checkout. 20% off your first purchase. Save you some money. We appreciate Rhoback bringing you what you need this summer and this college football season. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.